What's up, guys? Welcome to Jew Whiskey. I'm Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below, and with that out of the way, let's jump into our review. Today we're looking at Bunnahabhain Toiteach A Dhà. Alright, so we're doing a re-review today, another Bunnahabhain re-review. I looked at the 18 recently, and that's one that, while it does have some consistency issues, I loved it the first time I reviewed it, and I still love it now. So the question is, will this one do the same thing? When I first looked at it, I liked it, I said nice things about it, I recommended it, and I said it was a good whiskey at a good price. But just because the Bunna 18 re-review went well, doesn't mean that this one will. Maybe it's awful now, you never know. Maybe it's so bad that I'll never want to come back to it again. And that obviously would be a bad thing. Mostly, I would be perfectly happy never having to pronounce this nonsense again. And of course, I say that with all due respect to the 7 remaining native Gaelic speakers out there. Your language is magical. Anyway, here's what you need to know about this stuff. It is non-age stated, it is peated, it is matured in both bourbon and sherry casks, and it's entirely matured in Bunna's coastal warehouses on Islay. Now, I'm not totally sure what type of sherry casks were used here, but Whiskey Base says it's Oloroso, and Whiskey Base is never wrong about anything, and more broadly speaking, the internet is never wrong about anything. Whatever the case though, I am broadly speaking a fan of peated Bunnahabhain. You throw a bit of sherry in the mix, add to that the fact that I enjoyed this last time, it should be a good one. Let's not waste any more time then, let's jump into our review. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that would be greatly appreciated. For specs, this is 46.3% ABV, it's non-chill filtered, it's natural color. For look, I think this is fine. The label is kind of dark, which can make the text a little bit harder to read if you've got vision issues. Nothing really pops here. It doesn't excite, but it's fine. So we'll give this 3.5 out of 5. The label does say non-chill filtered. It says natural color. It says it's got a higher sherry influence. Higher than what? Don't know. We also get some basic descriptors of the whiskey. For information, we're looking okay. And on top of that, to their credit, they do actually write on the bottle how you're supposed to pronounce the name of this whiskey, and it goes Toiteach A Dhà. No need to leave any comments down below about my pronunciation. I know it was perfect. Apparently, Toiteach A Dhà means the smoky 2 in Gaelic. Ironically though, it also means death to those who dishonor my family in Klingon. One of those is a lie. I did not add water. On the nose, I get some gentle smoke here. I get some vanilla, I get some honey, some soft citrus, some banana, some star fruit. There's some cereal, there's some salty coastal notes. There's also a bit of grilled meat. I do get quite a bit of youth in here, and it's not quite as smoky or quite as sherried as I remember, at least on the nose. We get a very nice texture and intensity on the palate and finish. Things start off with smoke and honey. There's an earthiness to this. It's very coastal with sea air and brine. And there's also some vanilla in here. There's a meatiness to this. There is dark chocolate, salted dark chocolate. We get black pepper in here. And we even get a touch of medicine cabinet. Medicine cabinet, of course, being one of my all-time favorite snacks. Although I probably should start cutting back on them though. Those band-aids go straight to my thighs. For our finish, this is medium, lingering on salt, honey, and oak. Yeah, okay, so this is pretty good. It's very different from I remember. Now, I am going off of memory, but this has changed quite a lot in the last few years. I don't think it's just me, and I don't think those changes are for the better. From memory, this is much less rounded than the bottle I had a few years back. Also, it feels younger. Now, the last bottle I had was not an old whiskey by any means, but yeah, this one hits younger. Also, I think the sherry influence in this has been pulled back. I went back and checked my last review, and I talked about how this one had peat and sherry pretty much in equal measure. This one doesn't. This one leans more into the peaty coastal elements, and the sherry it's there if you look for it, but it's not nearly as prominent. So I'm pretty sure they've tinkered quite a lot with the formula for this one, and the thing is, on paper, it should still work for me, because if we've got a lighter sherry touch and we're leaning heavily into the more coastal and salty elements and we still have a nice peaty kick, yeah, on paper that sounds great for me, but I just feel like this is Again, younger than those old bottles, and I miss the richness and roundedness that we used to get with this stuff. It's gone now. This used to be sweeter and fruitier, the sherry and peat were more complementary. I even used to occasionally recommend this to people who are looking for a cheaper alternative to Lagavulin 16, and I definitely wouldn't do that now. So yes, it is a far cry from where it used to be, and we've established that I did like the older release better. So how about if we just look at this on its own? On its own, yeah, it's a good whiskey. It's not a great whiskey. We do have some good intensity, and the peaty and coastal elements do work here. So I do like it, even though it is simple and less rounded and younger and less engaging and rich. And I mean, there's a lot of things I could say about it. But again, just by itself, yeah, fine. So I don't want to be too harsh on this one. It is smoky, it is craft, it is enjoyable. For score, I'm going to land on 83 here. I think if you're looking for a straightforward, youngish, peaty Bunna with not a lot to say, but some nice flavors, then this is going to work for you. Finally, before we move on to value, guys, I want to give a quick thank you to all my patrons and my channel members. Thank you so much for all your support. And if you want to help support the channel, if you want to help keep it independent and financially sustainable, there's a number of ways that you can help. I've got Patreon and PayPal links down below. Anything and everything helps. So again, thank you for your support. Now let's talk value. So value for this is pretty good. In my market, it's about 45 US, so like 35 pounds. And considering that it is a quality smoky Bunnahabhain that's craft presented and relatively affordable, I really can't complain. Alright, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help out the channel, I've got Patreon and PayPal down below, as I said earlier. Also, I want to hear from you. Have you tried our Toiteach A Dhà? What were your thoughts on it? Do you feel like it's changed over the years? Have you tried a previous version and compared it to the newer one? Thoughts on that? Finally, down below in the comments, you can tell me what you want to see me review down the line, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.